Hey guys, Ramblin' Man Moto here. I thought I would show you how I'm handling CarPlay on the Roadmaster. I know some people with motorcycles prefer the Amish style of riding with no technology, no GPS, just a map and the open road. And I get that. On my Springfield, that's about my version of that. But I'm also into tech and gadgets. And on the Roadmaster, I specifically target the 2022 and newer because that's when Indian got CarPlay on some of these bikes. Now, the challenge I had was when I got this bike and I had been reading others, it was a little clunky. And so what I found was, I don't even remember exactly what the issue was, but the end result was you were supposed to plug your phone in by a USB cable to the bike. And what I was running into was about every other time I would go to use it, it wouldn't recognize my headset. And they have this annoying thing that you have to pair a headset to the bike in order for Apple CarPlay to work at all, which I find annoying. To me, that should be up to me how I want to interact. But they make you pair a headset with it. Now, people have found other ways around it, and I guess I have too, and that's what I'm making the video about. So let me show you how this is supposed to work if it was working the way it was designed. This is my 22 Roadmaster, and here I've actually got a couple of garage door openers here that I need. But what you would normally have is this cable, and I'm doing this one-handed because I'm holding the camera, but normally you would take this cable right here and plug that into your phone. So every time you wanted to take a ride, you would have to plug your phone here, and then when you got off the bike, open this up, take your phone away with you. I was willing to do that for longer trips. Now, in my Springfield that doesn't have this technology, I wear a Cardo Pack Talk Edge, and I listen to the music through there, and I listen to the commands through Siri, rather, through there. Here, when I plug the phone in by USB, like I said, every other time it would drop Siri, it would make a thing like it's recognizing that I'm activating Siri, but it wouldn't work. And the music would play, but it wouldn't recognize the microphone. Well, that was no good for me. So I'm going to turn it back around and show you the solution I found. The thing you see at the end of this plug now that has any far written on it is a Apple CarPlay wireless adapter. And there were a bunch of them that I saw recommended on different forums. A few people seem to mention this one. So this is the one I bought. You plug it in to the end of the USB, and you just leave it there. It's a really small device. All right, so with that adapter in there, you can put your phone wherever you want. I often just leave it in my pocket. My iPhone's got a good battery life, can probably go a full day and still have, I don't know, 20, 30% left if I started out from a full charge. Or I've got a 12-volt adapter in the Tour Pack, and I can put it back there and have it charging all day. I may get a USB adapter for the front and maybe plug it in that way. I don't know. But charging it so far for me has not been an issue. When I start taking longer trips, which is one of the reasons I bought this bike, I'll probably charge it up while I'm riding. I'm going to try to show you what this does. And I'm actually going to need to go get my headset in order to show you how this works. I forgot to do that. Let me go get a headset. Be right back. All right, guys, what I've got, I'm going to see if I can do this without it being attached to the helmet. This is the Cardo Pack Talk Edge. I really love this unit. I use it for Siri and listening to music. I've only used it a few times when I've connected with other riders, and it works flawlessly. I don't know if it's going to work flawlessly connected to CarPlay, to be honest. I've read some reviews that maybe not. So I'm going to see, hopefully the CarPlay, I've noticed in my videos, the CarPlay screen blinks, I guess because of the resolution and the frames per second. I might see if I can drop, I don't think I can increase the frames per second. I think I've maxed out, but I'll see if I can change the frames per second and show you this, okay? All right, I switched the resolution to 4K 60 frames a second. I'm normally in 4K 30. But we'll see if this shows the screen any better in the final outcome. So my workflow on this is the wireless adapter for CarPlay is paired to your phone. So I already have that in place, and it's just like any other Bluetooth device. You search for Bluetooth devices, that pops up, you connect to it. Problem solved on that one. And you could use that in a car, anything that is equipped with CarPlay. Now, the next step is because Indian requires you to have a headset, you have to have this paired to the bike, or otherwise CarPlay won't work at all. Now, what some people have done, some people don't have headsets, but they want CarPlay. So you can buy, you can have Apple AirPods that are connected, but you're not using. Some people put them in the glove box. You can buy different Bluetooth adapters and just leave them in the glove box. There's all sorts of solutions I found, but what I wanted to do was the Apple Wireless CarPlay. I wanted Apple Wireless CarPlay, so I didn't have to remember to put it back in my pocket when I got off the bike, put it back on when I get on the bike. The Bluetooth adapter just stays there. And now what I found is you cannot pair your phone to this and the bike, because eventually you're going to have the same problem that I was having but when I was doing a wired connection, that Siri and your microphone just isn't recognized. It'll recognize music commands and going next and up and down and select. But if you try to activate Siri and have your microphone give commands, it's not going to work. As soon as I disconnect or forget my iPhone that's paired to the Cardo PackTalk Edge, then everything works fine. Okay. Let me show you what it does. I'm going to go ahead and boot on my Cardo. Now you're not going to be able to hear my Cardo because I don't have the headphones from the microphone. But what I'm going to do is, right now it's connected to my phone. I'm going to disconnect my iPhone from the Cardo for purposes of this demonstration. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to handle this headset when I ride the Springfield that needs the phone and this to be connected, and the Roadmaster that doesn't want this connected. I just started experimenting with having it both paired at the same time, and it's not working. It has to be only the Roadmaster if I want to use Apple CarPlay. So what I've been doing is when I come out, get on the bike, I disconnect the iPhone from this if I'm on the Roadmaster. The problem is you have to do that every time you restart your Cardo headset. If you forget it, then you got to remember to add it back when you want to get back on the other bike. So I'm trying to figure out that maybe I'll have one just dedicated to the Roadmaster. That seems kind of silly. I do have two of these. Anyhow, let me show you what it does when it boots up now. So it's going to boot up, and you're going to see pretty quickly it activates Apple CarPlay once it connects to my headset. All right, you get that ride command warning. That'll go away on its own eventually, but I'll hit OK. All right, that's it. So it's active. All right, that's it. So now you have Apple CarPlay that looks just like any other Apple CarPlay. Now, the reason it played music automatically is I have an automation on my phone that when it connects to CarPlay, it'll automatically start playing the last music I was playing and go to now playing screen. I did that because in one of my vehicles, the functionality stopped and music wouldn't start, or it would start and be on some different screen. So I created an automation that anytime it connects to Apple CarPlay on any vehicle, including rental cars, all of our vehicles in the house, when I connect my phone to Apple CarPlay, it immediately starts playing music that it was playing last and jumps to now playing. So this is really it. And once you have Apple CarPlay, you can control the music. That's playing music. It can control tracks, go left and right, volume up and down. You can sort through the menu by hitting this toggle button, and then you select things by pressing in on that button. If you want to go out and access Indian's native firmware that it runs for its system, you just hit that, and you can toggle through their normal menu of things. And if you want to go back to Apple CarPlay, the way I do it is go back and just hit that button, and it takes you back to Apple CarPlay, and you can swipe just like you normally would. That's how that works, and it's really simple. I'm really glad that I went this way to use the wireless CarPlay. The only thing you have to be aware of is you can't sync, at least in my experience, your phone to both the bike, or the wireless adapter in this case, and your Cardo Pack Dog. It just eventually it crashes. And now, one tip I'll show you. I found this on other threads, that if you're riding down the road and something gets glitched, if you just hold in this settings button for like, I don't know, 8 to 10 seconds, it's going to shut it down and reboot the system. And you're going to see that happen right here. I've done this while going down the road when it glitched. And when it reboots, it repairs everything up the way it should be. I haven't had to do that at all when I have only the headset paired here and the phone paired with the Apple CarPlay. And you're going to see it's going to start CarPlay, play my music. And that's the automation worked exactly the way it should in my case. That is it. I'll try to put a link to the CarPlay device that I bought. And hopefully this helps someone out. All right, I'll see you on the road.